No.
Hey
No,
Darth. Hey
but
Darth. Let me jump in. Hey Darth. Why do facts need grounding in a disembodied
Okay,
mind?
I'll be glad to speak with you, Jeff, momentarily. But it's interesting. Why is it that you're talking to me in this room, but you refuse to talk with me in other rooms, Jeff?
I've talked to you in rooms before.
No. Is this the same Jeff that I'm thinking of here? Yeah, you're the same guy. So don't lie, Jeff. You outright
Oh, I'm not
refuse to
lying.
talk with me in another room, unless you're the same Jeff that I'm thinking of.
I've not. You've called me up and wanted that conversation. But look, why do facts need grounding in a disembodied mind?
Okay. Repeat the question again. Now,
W- w-
since you hold on a second before you repeat the question. It's very nice of you to jump in and to save this guy from philosophically drowning. Okay? Now, what's your question?
Why do facts need grounding in a disembodied mind?
I don't understand the question. Oh, do you mean why do facts need grounding in the disembodied mind of God?
Yes.
Okay. Because they in order for us to know ultimately why anything is, okay, what is ultimate will either be a mind or not a mind. We would only therefore be able to identify and defend if what is ultimate is a mind, if that mind has the sufficient characteristics to reveal itself. And therefore, that mind is behind the metaphysical contextual background information as to why anything is or happens. So, without that which is ultimate being a mind and having the necessary properties and attributes, then what is ultimate, right? The actual context of why anything is, if there is something, would not be identifiable or defensible. And therefore, every so-called fact would not be a fact because it has no metaphysical context. Now, do you believe facts require context for their instantiation and intelligibility, Jeff?
Can you maybe put that? You said a lot there. Maybe break that down as an argument, like a rule, premise to what you just said.
No,
And
I
the, and
asked you a
the,
question, Jeff.
yeah, and you didn't answer mine.
Yeah, I most certainly did. So stop lying.
Why do
You know,
facts need grounding in a disembodied mind?
I just
You made an
explained it
argument,
to you. Okay, I gave you a
right? So
scenario. In
can
one
you put it?
scenario, in a world where we have God, okay,
So can you put it in a
God,
premise
I
form?
now at this moment I will not. But the point is, I just explained to you why. Now I asked you a question. Are you going to answer it, or are you going to dodge?
Well, I'll answer it if you'll explain your answer so I can
Jeff,
understand it.
I'm not,
And
listen, Jeff, I'm more than
yeah,
willing to talk with you, but if you want to play this
okay.
little game like a teenager, I'm not going to play that game.
Well, I didn't feel like I was. I'm asking you to clarify your argument in the
Okay.
form of
Okay.
using an inference rule with two
Okay.
premises to maybe break down what it is you're trying to
I
say.
said you have an alternative here that you can, at any given moment, you will decide that your self consciousness and your sense experience is either indicative and revelatory of God because God made it so, or you will choose not. Now, when you choose the not option, you therefore do not have any intelligibility. Okay? I could simply say that I could put it in the form of a transcendental argument by saying facts and the intelligibility thereof um, necessitate the existence of God. Okay? There are facts and intelligibility for facts, therefore God. Okay? Now, I just gave you a syllogism. Now, what I'd like to know from you is this. Since you don't believe that God is necessary, that he is the ultimate metaphysical context from which facts would be instantiated and have intelligibility, how do you have intelligibility for putative facts in your not God world?
Yeah, so I started out asking a question, why do facts need grounding in a disembodied mind? And you're turning it around to ask me a question without
That's a
answering mine.
lie, Jeff. Stop lying. I just answered your question several times
Can you
directly
give it to? Can you
after.
give it to
Okay,
me? Can you give
I
it to me in using the inference rule
I
with a
just
rule
gave
and
you a
and
syllogism of a transcendental argument. Now, I answered your
well, I don't
question.
think you did.
Hey Jeff, if you want to play this little game, it's not going to go on much longer. I
I'm not playing a
answered
game.
your
If look,
questions. Jeff, you
hey
keep on
Darth,
over talking. Hey Jeff, overtalk me again and I will stop talking with you. Okay? Now,
mm,
I, in good faith, answered your multiple questions. I even catered you by giving you a transcendental syllogism, okay, a transcendental type of argument for God. I I responded to your request. I then answer your question. If you don't accept the reasoning that I have given, okay, then what I want to know is, in your alternative world, how do you have intelligibility in a not God world? What ultimately would dictate what anything is and its intelligibility? Now, I answered your questions. Would you answer mine?
okay. Just to be clear, Darth, you can't present an argument. If you can't, that's fine. I don't have any reason to accept
Okay,
that facts.
Jeff,
You're over
listen.
talking me. You're over talking me. I didn't
I
overtalk
am,
you.
and I'm telling you
You did
why.
not
I'm going to tell
overtalk.
you why.
No,
I'm going to
no,
okay.
no.
If
I'm
you
gonna fit.
do that again,
No, no. You're over talking me.
if
You're
you
over talking
lie,
me.
if you
Well,
lie
there you
again,
go.
Jeff.
Yep, yep.
Jeff, please
Mm-hmm.
please go on. Answer
Uh,
polite and maintain your voice, please.
yeah. So if he was not able to accept, if he could make an argument, which he couldn't, I asked him several times to give me an argument. Please put it in the form of a syllogism, and he could not do it. And so if I have no reason to accept that facts need grounding in a disembodied mind, that's what his claim was. And he couldn't make an argument, and he kept trying to turn around to ask me a question. And so it's just indicative of the dodging that he does, and he goes into rooms and he plays these games. And if you ask him a straightforward, simple question to put an argument to it, he can't do it.
Do you want to say something, like you were saying something during?
I lost what
Uh,
the part that was that. I doubt he even knows what grounding is, though. You can even ask him what does he even mean by grounding. He's not going to give a good explanation
and
for
by
it.
the way, there's some